Hey folks, welcome to Money and Politics. We're going to be doing a couple of different things tonight, but first, before we get started too far, let me bring up, if you haven't subscribed, please do. When you have a channel, you can see not who, I should say, but how many people who are watching the video are subscribers and how many are not. There's a lot of people who haven't subscribed. Because we are going to be talking and have been talking about the stock market here and about politics as it affects investing. I think it's something you want to subscribe to. I think it's going to be helpful for you. As a reminder, if you haven't known my background, I both run businesses. I'm an investor for 40 years, and I've covered politics, both at the national level and at the state level. I was covering Congress back in the mid-90s when Bill Clinton was president, and the Republicans took over the House for the first time in 40 years. That was a very interesting time covering the contract with America. So I don't spend a whole lot of time on politics, but I do as we need to talk about it, and I'm not doing it in the context of trying to cause political fights here. The government does things and the government impacts investing. And that is, something that we need to pay attention to. So another thing I'm going to pay attention to, and my apologies to all of you who are not St. Louis Cardinal fans, or I should say apologies who are Dodger fans. The Cardinals came back from the dead by winning 17 games in a row, and so they won the wild card, and they play the Dodgers tonight. That is the game, I think it's 7:10 Central Time. So that's something, hopefully it'll be a good game. Hopefully my St. Louis Cardinals are going to win. Let's jump in and look real quick. What was interesting about Humble is look at the pattern here. It was almost like nothing, you might say. Go into a close shot. And we really just kind of bounced around pretty much at about 73 cents. Now, you go over here, and here we are, 10 a.m. That would have been like 9 a.m. So this is why they say don't buy during the first half hour. You can see that was the high of the day, and then we went down basically, and except for a couple of hiccups, we were at 73 cents for most of the day. So the thing, I was looking just a while back, and I just got interrupted with some news, breaking news here for a minute. I was going to talk about this. Earlier today, talking about politics, let me go back to what I was going to say, because I just got a bit of a news flash here at 5:17 Central Time that Senate Democrats indicate they will accept Senator McConnell's debt ceiling offer. Now, Senator McConnell, the Republican leader in the Senate, earlier today, and I was about to bring that up, earlier in the day said that he would offer the Democrats an extension of the debt ceiling until December. So this is October the 6th. That means that they're going to have close to 2 months, the rest of October and all of November, to reach some deal. We can only speculate what that would be. And if we get to December and the Democrats haven't reached any deal with the Republicans, as where it stands now, McConnell would say, we, the Republicans, are not going to put any votes to raise the debt ceiling beyond December. You're the guys that are spending all of this money, and you're the ones that want to have a free rein here, and we're not going to give it to you. So they would have to go through the reconciliation, and then the Democrats would have the votes barely to pass it on their own, and that's what McConnell's saying. So It's too early to see where this goes. I mean, because of the debt ceiling, it gives the Republicans some leverage, and there could be any number of things that this goes. But why I wanted to bring this up tonight was this is the kind of thing, I don't want the country to default on our debt. That would not be good for anybody. Wouldn't be good for investors, certainly. All kinds of things wouldn't be happening. The government would be shut down. We wouldn't have paychecks going out necessarily to the military. Social Security checks would not go out. So this is just, it comes up before. It happened back in like 2013 when Obama was president. It happened back a number of times when Bill Clinton, when I was covering Congress then. And that's about where it began. I think the first time that we had shutdowns and the government was shut down, I think one year about 3 times. So it is what it is, and but it's something we got to pay attention to. I think it'll be resolved. Moving along, we do have inflation fears. Everyone, I think, would understand that. And here we have the TTT, Tom, and this is a chart on the 20-year Treasury. So we can see that it went up slightly today. It's up from, in the last week, from about $30 to roughly $31 to where it is today at close to $35. So on a percentage basis, that's a nice move. And we can see where interest rates were, low. This should be, I mean, you can see this is what you would expect because we've had such low interest rates. As interest rates go up, Treasury prices go down on existing T-bills, and that's what this is shorting. This is shorting the T-bills. So there you go. That's something to keep it. When we look INMO just divided last week on a 2-for-1. So here we are. That number where it says it was down $6, I don't think that's right. If you look at the top column, the previous close was $70. So, and the chart you can see, let's go to the one-day chart, doesn't show it dropping off $6. So here we are. Basically not much movement. But again, this is where we've had a lot of movement up, and then we've had this split. So again, one of my favorite stocks. This is going to, let me remind myself here, trying to find out, I think, I was looking for the earnings for when the earnings come out. I'm going to ignore this. Something's wrong with this information here on this page. But anyway, moving along to other things. We also did an interview not too long ago with Thomas Sangad. I may have pronounced that wrong. With Zynex, and let's get that up. And it is up from $10 and change yesterday. You can see here the all over. Again, the story here, and I think that we could go back up to, let's go back to where it's been in the last 6 months. It's been up to like $17. So again, if you get it in this area, their earnings should be coming out probably in about a month, the early part of November. We may get preliminary earnings coming out. It was 2 months ago that they came out. We see in the last 2 quarters that they beat. This again, you can see the growth in revenue, and this is where they added a bunch of salespeople selling their products that fight pain from people who maybe have just come out of either an accident or an operation. And so it is an alternative to using drugs to control pain. I think this is a reasonable risk here at this price. And were we to go back to that $17 price, where they were as recently as July, as you see, you're going to be up significantly from where these prices are right now. So we're going to find out as earnings come out, and as we say, we may get some preliminary earnings. Otherwise, maybe about this time next month, we'll find out how their quarter went and if their ambitious plans to continue growing are bearing fruit. Now, going back to Humble for a moment, and I jumped around there because of the news flash on the Republicans and the Democrats relative to them taking. Back in May, when Brian Foote was talking about his looking into where he wanted Humble to go, and he was talking about NFTs, he mentioned that Top Shot, I should say, with the NBA, and this is their website, was doing, according to Brian, $350 million a month. $350 million a month. So, folks, when we talk about the future of Humble, and I have said to a number of people, both when we were in Nashville, and I think I said the other day on camera, that when you have a big tidal wave coming, you could be a mediocre company and do well if you have a huge market growing. And I think Humble is not a mediocre company, but they are playing in a major field. So this is the website, and you can see it in the yellow there. It says they're going under maintenance. But we're looking here at the auctions. And so here it says Reggie Jackson Jump Shot shopped, and let's see if we can get that to play here. So here's what you would be buying. You can see, people are bidding on this, and this is the NFT. If you haven't seen it, and this is the NFT. Page. So, I mean, I just wanted, I think a lot of people maybe haven't seen this, and this is just an example of what other people are spending their money on, and in considerable sums. So when you're looking at where Humble could go, this is the future right here, folks. And NFTs are just one of the things that Humble is going to be going into. Tickets, of course. And, it's amazing. I did say when I was with Brian Foote down in Nashville, how he opened my eyes to that, the NFT, not just the NFT market, but he opened my eyes to the ticketing business. And it's like, holy cow, I never had any idea that the ticketing business was as strong as it is. I mean, that's amazing. So he was saying, yeah, this is $100 billion a year business that Humble is going into. Before I close out, a short day today, I want to get ready, have dinner, and watch the Cardinals play when they come up in about an hour and a half. Money in politics, if you want to drop me a line, I'm going to keep an eye on obviously on politics. It's what I do anyway. But the other thing we got to worry about, as I've mentioned before, is just, where inflation is. Now, the people on the Fed are saying that we're not going to get significant inflation, that they're keeping a close eye on it. They're probably going to be raising the interest rates maybe as many times as 6 times over the next year and a half. So the Fed says. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on some of the other things. I'll close out by just saying, as I was telling a friend today about investing, and I said, I think we are in a weird sometimes I got a really good feel for where the market is, and sometimes it's because it's in the toilet, or it could be great as it was before COVID came up. But right now we're in a weird spot, and I'm just telling you this, that what I would say is we want to be defensive, which is why, as I mentioned, I sold some of my TQQ the other day. I sold it at 137. Today it went down to from after that to about 115. I think today it was up to about 126. I just wanted to build up some cash. So that's one thing I might tell you to do from a defensive standpoint. If you got some gains, maybe it doesn't mean you have to sell all your good positions, but you might want to take a little cash, take it off the table, build up your cash, take a little profits off the table, I should say. I think we are in this weird position where we got the debt ceiling fight. At least now we know that we're going to have a window of opportunity where nothing's going to be happening for about 7 weeks. But we have that. We have the possibilities of inflation. We got the whole bill going on Capitol Hill that right now the Democrats don't have the vote to pass the infrastructure deal. We'll see where that goes. But we also have COVID. People, including myself, thought that this was going to be resolved. We got the vaccines that came out right after the elections last November. We didn't think we'd still be fighting this, and yet we are. And it's a global deal. Never before have we had this kind of a global shutdown and problems. And I don't mean a total shutdown. I think we're more open now than we were 6 months ago. But we just still have all kinds of things that are just not operating right. So there's reasons on one hand to be pessimistic, and there's reasons on other hands to be optimistic, where, as I say, we're kind of teetering right here in a little bit of a twilight zone. So we'll have to see where that goes. So that's why I would ask you, as I said before, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you would. Leave your comments. As always, I appreciate it. In the meantime, go Cardinals. Go Cardinals. Hopefully they're going to remain as hot as they have been. It's been 10 years this year since the Cardinals won a World Series. I know that's not a big deal for a lot of teams, but we would certainly like to have number 12 in 21. How's that? But I'll say goodbye for now, folks. Thanks as always for watching and writing, and I'll see you again tomorrow night.